Hi guys, this is Gareth from TriLife, and today really is another episode of FreeSpeed with TriLife. Today we're going to talk about tire pressure, choosing the right tire pressure, different effects on it, and how it's going to influence your ride. Alright, so choosing a tire pressure can be quite a difficult thing because there's so many factors that come into play. There's quite a couple of misconceptions that go along with choosing the right tire pressure. So number one is that mountain bikers are the only guys that need to worry about tire pressure. That's not entirely true. It has a big role to play when you're riding on the road as well. Tire pressure can influence the way you corner, how fast you go, how slow you go, how much grip you have. So it's a big factor when it comes to road biking as well. The other misconception is that a lot of people say the harder the tire, the better it is. That's not entirely true because rolling resistance is not the only factor that comes into play when choosing tire pressure. There's things like I said before, cornering, tire roll, grip, weather, everything. So I'm going to explain to you exactly how to choose the right tire pressure and what's the best one for the type of riding that you're going to do. Alright, so the first factor that we're going to discuss is the weather's effect on your tire pressure. So depending on whether it's wet or dry, you're going to adjust your tire pressure. If it's the wet conditions, you want a lot more grip and a lot more traction. So you're going to run with about 100 psi. For those of you that speak in bar, that's about 7 bar. If it's a lot of drier conditions, you don't need so much grip. So what you want is to reduce your rolling resistance. So you're going to run it around 8.5 bar, which is 120 psi, maybe slightly over. So it really depends on the condition of the road and how much grip and traction you need. Okay, the second factor to consider is the terrain. So obviously with tire pressure, it's directly related to comfort. So the harder your tires are, the harder your ride is going to be. The softer your tires are, the more comfortable it's going to be. So you need to take into account the road. So if it's bumpy road, if there's a lot of stones, maybe a lot of sand, you're going to want to run a slightly lower tire pressure to make it a little bit more comfortable for you. If you know that the road is going to be really smooth, sort of a lot of straight lines, harder tire pressure, way better idea. So again, you just need to think about the terrain that you're going to ride on and adjust your tire pressure accordingly. Never go lower than 7 bar and higher than 8 bar. So always work between 100 to 120 psi. Anything over that, you're going to risk the chance of overinflating the tire and damaging the sidewall. Anything under that, you risk the chance of the tire rolling around the corner and possibly even coming off the rim. So stay between those guidelines and you'll be golden. If you're still unsure as to what tire pressure you should run, another good idea is to just have a look at the sidewall. They'll have a manufacturer recommendation on the sidewall, which will help you stay between the guidelines. It'll be written in white and nice and clear. Other times you have to look a little bit harder, but it will be there written on the side. On the side of your tire, or on the box that you purchase your tire in, you'll see that it's got a TPI rating. TPI stands for threads per inch. Now in a tire, there's little threads and fibers that make up the base for the rubber. Those threads are intertwined like this. So the harder you pump your tires, the tighter those threads are going to pull. The lower you pump your tires, the more relaxed they're going to be. That is directly related to puncture resistance. The fourth and final thing to consider is your tire width. So a lot of people have the argument between, do I do 23C, do I do 25C? It all comes down to comfort and what you want out of the ride. So with a 25C tire, it's slightly wider, which means you can run a slightly lower tire pressure. So it might be a little bit more versatile in that respect. A 23C is going to give you a lot harder ride and you'd have to pump the tire harder. A 23C can't take as low pressures as a 25C because there's less material and less rubber to give way. So there's less tire roll. So a 25C just allows you more versatility, more comfort, and has actually been tested to be more aero, and that's important. Alright folks, so as you can see, when it comes to tire pressure, it really depends on what kind of riding you do and what kind of rider you are. So adjusting your tire pressure at the beginning of every ride might be something that you want to consider depending on what type of terrain you're going to be covering. So ultimately there's no right and wrong answer, it's just up to you in terms of what you want to get out of the tire's performance. Alright, so hopefully with the tips that I've given you guys today, you've managed to learn something and you'll be able to make an informed decision next time you pump up your tires. Be sure to stay tuned for some more tips with FreeSpeed by TriLife. Enjoy!